Good day, everyone. How are you today? I'm feeling well. And the message I'm bringing to you today is a message about sexual objectification of men. I have a message for you, and that message is about the sexual objectification of men. Now, what they call sexual objectification of men, or sexual objectification in any case, when it's dealt to men, it's pretty much accepted. Women do it. Sometimes men do it too. But I don't want to talk about that. I came across an article recently written for Elite Daily by Alexia Lafata, and it was put in the culture part of Elite Daily. And her article is called "Why It's Completely Okay to Objectify Men." No, it really is. There you go. That's the whole title. Our article is kind of lengthy, so I'm not going to try to read the whole thing for you. But before I go ahead and sum it up for you, I want to point something out to you that's towards the beginning of it, where she says, not in these exact words, but she hates the silent white males, and she's been giving them a lot of flack lately for merely existing. Alexia here conveys a message that, well, objectifying a woman leads to victim blaming, a welcome catcalling, more than violently high rates of sexual assault, rape, and generally the devalue of women. But however, on the flip side, she doesn't seem to believe the same happens for men. None of those things happen for men at all. She talked about the male gaze, which is pretty much a theory or some kind of statement where they say that everything on TV or any kind of media, movies, everything is made to satisfy the eyes of heterosexual straight males only. And she also talks about how, in her mind, a woman is only as good as her beauty. Once she loses that, she loses everything. A woman is defined by her beauty and beauty only. Well, that's women who don't have anything up in their heads and really don't have anything else to be valued about themselves other than a beauty. But other women don't have that problem. And she says a man is defined by much more than just his looks. And I do agree with that, because he's also defined by his wallet, his utility mostly, what he can do. Women, not so much. Well, so those women don't have anything else in their head. But a man is definitely valued by his wallet. That's the biggest thing right there. Now, not once in her article does she mention things that men go through, like this culture has built up a culture of male disposability. Men die in wars, and nobody really gave a fuck for a lot about that. Nobody looks at people do look at vets all together and say, look at these vets, but nobody says, hey, look at these men that died on these wars. Men make up, I think, over 90% of all combat deaths. Nobody. She didn't talk about how they make males out to be disposable when it comes to children. Their own children, I'm talking about, because of female dissatisfaction, and which those men are needed to create their own children. It's a very opinionated and biased piece of article, and she is a hypocrite if I've never talked about one. She's a hypocrite. She's justifying the stereotype. And her whole article seems like horse shit to me. But I'll let you all have the opportunity to read it for yourselves. in her mind, one little poll, I guess, was done a while ago. I didn't see this poll, in which she says that poll pretty much shows a man can't be fat shamed. I would want to know what kind of people were voting on this, because I think males can definitely be fat shamed. And she says when a man is objectified, his chest is fun, and that's why it's okay to do it. This really bothers you. I want you guys to just take a look at it. I don't really want to talk about this a little bit too much. I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy and the crazy stuff that she said in there. You guys go ahead and read it for yourselves. But I gotta leave you with a piece of advice. If you're writing anything and you're writing it from one point, try to write it from the other point too. Try to argue from both sides, and try not to be hypocritical about it. And definitely don't say anything crazy like what this woman said. Remember, the power is yours.